Hello, my name is Dr. Jamie Parker, and I am a certified Pilates instructor through the Physical Mind Institute. I am also a certified water fitness instructor, and I have taught water classes for many decades. And like most instructors, we use a variety of pieces of equipment in the pool. However, today I am using something truly unique. This is the TYE4 bungee system, better known as the X, and you can see the X behind my back. And what this system does is it provides added resistance. The long black cords that you see are bungees, and they can create up to 30 pounds of added resistance. When we go in the water, we get even more drag, which creates an intense, highly effective workout. And the harness improves our posture and just provides that extra support. I am going to show you how to put on the TYE4X bungee system. You'll take it out of the bag and make sure you have all 4 bungees visible, 2 short and 2 long. Then you'll place the soft harness, the X, around your back like a backpack. And you'll see the X go across your back. Then you will take the middle strap and place it underneath your chest, snugging it tight. And the Velcro attaches. It's very comfortable. Then you have the short loop and the long loops. The long loops we will place one around each foot, and I'm wearing water fitness shoes. Then you have the arm bungees, the shorter bands. And these have 2 loops, short and long. First, you'll want to make sure that the bungee moves behind your back, making sure it hasn't gotten crossed. And then we'll place our fingers in the long loop like so, loosely. The thumbs are exposed, so we don't want to grip inside with the thumbs attached. Just keep them loose so we can move freely. Now I will show you some exercises to use with the X and a noodle. So what I've done is placed the handles over the ends of the noodle and move them up about 2 inches to secure them in place. And I've got the noodle behind my back like a pillow. It's right behind my thoracic, my upper back. And what I will do in the pool is go onto my back, floating both legs up into a supine position, floating on my back. And I will scissor my legs, open and close like in a jumping jack. You can add a point and a flex, and you'll feel the even added resistance pointing with the bungee. I will also do knee tucks, bringing in both knees, still lying on my back, and then twisting side to side, bringing in both knees to side to side. Now we'll take the noodle over our head and bring it underneath our chest into a prone position or a push-up position. So we'll push the noodle down under the water, again floating both legs up towards the top of the water, going into a push-up position, and you'll feel the resistance of the water and the bungees in both directions. You can flutter kick the legs from this position, jumping jack the legs, or my personal favorite, bringing in the knees towards the noodle in a knee tuck position, all while on your stomach. Now I will show you a few additional exercises using the noodle and the X. Frog jumps. You'll start with your heels together, toes apart, and your knees will glide right in front of the bungee as you push the noodle up and down, almost like a pogo stick. So again, you're getting resistance in both directions, and in the water, you get even more drag. Then we'll move into a pendulum. The noodle goes one direction as one leg goes out to the side. The leg that's extending with the bungee is getting a wonderful amount of resistance, and if I point my toe, I'm getting even more through the glute and the front of the ankle. So we'll keep moving side to side in this oppositional direction. Then we can add knee tucks or knee jumps. We'll push the noodle down as our knees come up, almost like you're doing a cannonball into the pool, up and down. And then we'll take the noodle back behind our back like a pillow, bringing it behind the X, lying on our back again and flutter kicking, then moving into big scissors with the legs. One goes up and then one goes down, sky to floor. This exercise really helps us stretch our arms over our head. Studies show we don't spend enough time with our arms over our head, which is very important, especially as we age, to be able to reach things off the top shelf and just live better through daily life. So this exercise is called a lateral jump or a rainbow. We'll take the noodle over to one side as we jump to the other side. I'm getting great amount of resistance here through my lats, through my arms. My core is staying engaged and my upper body is staying upright due to the X harness. Here you will see the arm bungees around the noodle on the end securely in place. I am lying on my back, floating my legs up towards the top of the water, holding onto the leg bungees with my hands. And I begin by scissoring the legs, then tucking them in and out. I start with a pendulum, moving the noodle from one side as the opposite leg lengthens in the other direction. Then we move into the frog jump, pushing the noodle straight down as the feet come together and the knees wide. It feels wonderful in the hips. This one is a rainbow, side-to-side sweep and jump. I am jumping laterally from one side to the next as the noodle rainbows over my head. Then we have a tuck jump, bringing both knees up as the noodle presses down. Now I'm in a prone position, push-up position, pushing the noodle down towards the bottom of the pool as I flutter kick the legs to stay suspended. Then we have a knee tuck, both knees coming into the noodle as the noodle slightly pushes away from the hips. My legs then begin a jumping jack motion, still pushing the noodle down towards the bottom of the pool to stay lifted and floating in the top of the water. I move the noodle to my back, to the upper back, right behind the straps and the X. I go onto my back, floating, lifting my hips towards the top of the water, jumping, jacking the legs, pointing and flexing, and you'll see that the leg bungees stay in place. Now I hold onto the leg bungees with my hands and move the knees in side to side. Now I am scissoring my legs, going up and down towards the sky to the floor, and then knee tucks, both knees tucking in and out, and I'm simply holding on to the noodle for balance and support. Then we lengthen the knees in and out, right in the middle of the body. This video demos several exercises together. It begins with a jumping jack. Arms and legs move out and in away from the body, and then an overhead jumping jack. Then I move into a cross-country exercise, moving the legs and the arms in a forward plane. Then the front kick begins, extending the opposite arm and leg, flexing the foot through the water. Then back lifts. The arms are lengthened in front as the back leg lengthens and lifts the heel towards the top of the water. Then I cross the arm bungees in front and go into a frog jump, pushing the arms down as the feet come up and together, almost like a pogo stick. The straps will now uncross and go into one hand. So I'm holding onto both arm bungees in one hand, and I'm moving in an opposite direction in a pendulum motion. The opposite leg lengthens away from the arm bungees. Now I'm going into a fast running motion, forward and back, moving the arms and legs as quickly as I can, kicking the heel towards the glute, but staying up on the toes the entire time. In this exercise, I begin in a prone position on my stomach. I'll start by moving my legs in a jumping jack motion. Both hands are on a bench or a step. Then I move to a side position, one hand still on the bench or step, moving the top arm with the bottom leg as the legs scissor back and forth. You really have to use your obliques to stay lifted in the water and not letting the feet sink. Then we move back to both hands on the bench or step into a knee tuck exercise. Last, I take both arm straps, arm bungees, into one hand, and I lengthen out the other leg and point the toes for that added extension and tension into the bungee. This is excellent for balance.